This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Buckle up and start your engines. This is You Ought to Know with Dave Stahl. With 30 plus years of automotive experience, Dave is here to educate you on everything from repairing your vehicle to the latest industry news and trends. If it's automotive, Dave covers it. It's time for You Ought to Know with Dave Stahl on The Answer San Diego.
All right, folks, welcome. This is You Ought to Know, FM 96.1 AM 1170. Turn that girl up. Jeez, we hit it again.
The Answer.
Much, much better. This segment is brought to you, actually, the whole hour. Southwest Point of Sale. If you got a grocery store, liquor store, a little business, you're having trouble keeping cashiers, jump into the new century with self-checkout. Southwest Point of Sale does that. They've been doing it for over 20 years. Go to Southwest Point of Sale, POS that is, southwestpos.com, or call them at 800-540-2149. They'll come out, take a look, and if their system fits your system, cheaper than a cash register. Plus, you get 7-day, 24-hour-a-day service. And hot rods and custom stuff. Build a race car, bought a race car, don't know how to get it to run again. Hot rods and custom stuff. Been doing it since the 60s. 760-745-1170 or go to hotrodscustomstuff.com. Hey, guess who's stuck like glue?
I'm back.
I know.
All 3 hours. Sorry, listeners.
And you've got brand new guests.
I have an amazing guest. When he sent me a bio. Well, I want to thank Michael Lewis for this one. Our connection. I think I'm going to start calling him the co-producer because he is sending me quite like an amazing list of people. And today's in-studio guest was nice enough to take time and send me a bio. And when I read it, then I contacted you. I'm like, I don't think 2 segments on Racer Radio is going to be enough. I love this kid already.
Yeah.
So maybe we save the racing because he's a race car driver for Racer Radio because there's so much other stuff we could talk about. He's an adventurer, a traveler, and a writer.
And how old is he?
So 29. You've packed all this into 29 years. Please welcome Joey Jordan. And Mom's here too, Janice Jordan.
Yeah, but she's not talking. She's going to wave.
She scooted
Hi, son.
away from the microphone.
Did you notice that?
You know, we shouldn't have wheels.
Bite you.
There are wheels on the chairs. We should have locked hers.
Yeah.
Because
See,
I don't think you're shy. I've heard.
No, you know what, though? Hey,
with
we'll
you.
just make comments, and then
she'll have to pipe in.
She'll have to respond.
Yeah, like, who raised this kid?
Because Mom might have had something to do with his career to a certain
She
degree.
likes wheels, too, rumor has it.
Love wheels.
So I understand you're a writer.
She's already.
That's right. Hey, it's me.
What's your basis on your writing? What
I'm kind of just getting started in it. Well, I've been doing it for, I guess,
got
last
you
year.
started? Because, see, I got to tell you, on our motorsport show, every 9-year-old that comes in,
my gosh.
I tell them,
This is so
get
true.
a
Journal
diary.
or a diary. He
Yeah,
always
journal.
says this.
One day, at night before you go, 1 page. Don't get carried away. Just highlights, and then
You did it.
And you did it. Where did you come up with this idea?
I mean, I always kind of was passionate about articulating what I was experiencing.
Like always, like as a kid. You're
I
like,
think a little bit as a kid, but I was distracted by other things like driving anything fast, girls or whatever, you know? So I didn't really have the maturity to like actually sit down and do it until probably the last 5 years. While I was traveling, I did some writing, kind of talking about my experience.
Yeah, because you're kind of by yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like
I have a lot of time to
You
think.
were by yourself.
Well, I met people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're by yourself.
Yes.
No dog or
No
Lots
anything.
family.
Lots
No
of solitude.
Yeah.
They don't even, my family doesn't know anywhere where I am at all.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why she's here, because she wants to make sure she knows where
She
you're
wants
at.
to find out. Hey, if you have any questions, Janice, I'll ask on your behalf.
Oh, you're going to put her hand in the back of your dress?
She's hiding so I don't embarrass her. She can disown me.
You know what, though?
I don't think she's
I
going.
would bet $100 she is so proud of what you have done at this age. Seriously, you haven't gone to jail, have you?
Not that she knows of.
Okay, well, there you go. We're
Wow.
golden.
Hey, Dad, that sounds like us.
But I still go back to Mama's boy and Daddy's girls. So I just want to throw that out there. And that's for your dad.
Yeah, right. So did the two go hand in hand? And that was a good point. I didn't try to dismiss.
Yes,
Sorry.
you did.
No,
Yes,
I
you
was just like
did.
so excited to like ask. I'm so excited to hear, and gave us the extra time.
Yeah.
Did the two go hand in hand? Adventure and writing, and they just kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah, kind of. I think and you can even connect it to the racing. My life was devoted to racing. I didn't have time to spend writing or in the creative realm at all until I kind of started to take a step away from racing and look at
that's what I
it.
was wondering. Yeah.
And that's what led to the travels, and it kind of grew out of that.
So why don't you let us know? I believe you started in Fallbrook and went where?
Yeah, so my traveling adventure, I decided to kind of hang up the suit for a little bit, not
At
take
what
it as
age?
seriously. This was 22 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
How
what
long
have
had
you
you-
what did you do prior to the 22? Were you working?
I
Going to
just
school?
graduated,
Okay.
and I didn't take my studying seriously enough, so I was still left with my skill sets of being able to drive a car quickly.
Right.
So I worked teaching people how to do that.
Where at?
Where I still work from time to time, the Porsche Experience Center.
Got good taste.
Yep.
Yeah.
Porsche Experience Center, Los Angeles.
The one in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yep. So
Like, okay, so you got to hook her up.
yeah.
We'll go as media. Don't be wiggling your hand like that. You say
I
you
love
don't want to.
I love Porsches.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I know I just had a 911 RS.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it electric? I don't
No.
know. He had
Bite
an electric
your
one.
tongue.
He had an electric. He's all, get in. I'm all,
Well,
are you
that
going to
was
start it
the
up?
Taycan.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I did.
I get a new vehicle every week to drive
Yeah.
because I put them on radio and TV.
Right.
Okay, so
We
you're now
digress.
working at the Porsche Experience, and that I'm going to just tell you right now is another show.
Yeah.
Well,
we-
because people don't understand what they will learn. I hate to say it, whether they're driving a Porsche or not.
Yeah.
You're-
No, absolutely.
You're driving. I had a girl bought a new Corvette. I said, take the class. She said, I'm not taking the class. I've driven enough. Take the class. And I literally almost smacked her. Took the class. Never. Still talks about it to this day. But that's another segment
yes,
also.
back to
Yeah.
travel.
So they're
I have
allowed.
lots to say.
So do they allow you to travel and work too, or
Yeah, so I'm in college. I'm about to graduate, and I'm
Okay.
like, do I pursue this racing more? Which my kind of opinions with racing were changing at the time. And I decided, no, now I have room to pursue other things like my storytelling, writing. I was also doing videos, but also this travel trip that I had kind of been daydreaming about ever since I was in high school, really. So I went to the Porsche Experience Center to make money.
So
While
you-
building my
So you
van so I
could-
could do this trip,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, basically I worked for, I don't really remember how long, a year and a half. And then I left from my mom's house in Fallbrook from the driveway and
driving
a Toyota Hiace. It's a diesel Japanese imported van.
Why did I not think that he would not have a normal car? You know what I'm saying? Can't drive
yeah, what
normal.
was your
It's
reason
logical,
for that?
yeah.
Did you
And
have?
do you still have it?
No, that thing's probably
Used-
becoming a mountain in Patagonia right now.
So you drove it into the ground.
Yes, but I sold it to some rock climbers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it came to me
How
like,
thick is your book? I mean, we're talking 5,000
Books.
pages because that's
Because
just
he's
too
got a
much.
couple, I think. But
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
He's
so
only 29 years
I know.
old.
I know.
I mean, it should be like that many books. Yeah.
you guys would get bored, but
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you leave. Wait, did the van?
yeah, the van.
Why that one?
Yeah, that's
So you can sleep in it.
right. But there's a lot of other vans here. I was kind of looking at, because I wanted to also not throw away my racing completely. So my idea was on the travels was to do some races along the way as I went down to kind of discover the culture. To use
What kind of
racing.
races?
Road racing, so sports cars.
Yeah.
And,
Have helmet, will travel.
yeah. And
It's in the bag.
yeah, so as I was looking at races in, I think, Chile, I was seeing all the different like pit crew cars, and like I was trying to see what is the most common down there, where my car is going to have problems probably.
Yeah,
And they drive different kinds of cars. So that's where I kind
And
of
when you see 50 of these and none
Right.
of those.
a Toyota Hiace, which it's a diesel car, so that's
Sure.
why we don't have a lot
Right.
in America. It is one of the most ubiquitous vehicles out there.
Now you're going to make me look it up. But right now we got to take a quick break.
Ah,
I am so glad we had them in for the You Ought to Know
early.
show.
Because
Right.
we have hardly left Fallbrook.
Yeah, right. We haven't
think
even
we
left.
left
We haven't even
Fallbrook
left Fallbrook. All right, you're listening to the You Ought to Know show, the revised Britney Sandoval edition of You Ought to Know, right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back to the You Ought to Know show, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
Segment brought to you by Express Auto Service. Tell you what, Dave and Connie are absolutely wizards when it comes to your car. Go to expressautoservicelamesa.com. Tell them that I sent you. Yes, all my cars are worked on by Dave and his team because, hey, I just happen to love everything they do. Express Auto Service. Go to expressautoservicelamesa.com. All right, special guest. What are you doing?
I'm looking, man.
What are you looking at?
The perks of being a radio
What do you
host
got?
have started to grow this year.
What do you got?
Oh, Janice brought in for my nails. Little checkers.
Well,
The
then we
checkered
need to do a
flag.
show on nails.
Yeah, but
You think
I don't know if
Hey,
she wants
you
that.
think I'm joking? I did a show on a girl that does makeup professionally, and all the different. Did you know you can? There's a magnet or something you can put on your eye, and that lash will. It's like a magnet.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I'm glad I'm learning makeup techniques from
Yeah.
Dave Stahl.
Oh, me too. And it was a whole hour. And she said, "There's no way we could do it." I go, "Trust me." As passionate as you are,
Dave, you have nice nails. I think they might look good
I
on
know.
you.
I'm thinking.
You know what? I'm sorry. I should be sharing.
You're not sharing your
I
nail.
should be
You know
sharing.
what? For you, because as bad as you are playing sport, those are cool.
I know they're checkered flag and they go on the nails.
Minxnails.com. Check it out.
Rad.
Shameless
They
plug.
match your
So
shoes.
Minx, M-I-N-X nails. Wow.
Yeah, they go right. They're checkered flags. We're
how
never
hard,
leaving
how hard is it?
Fallbrook.
How hard is it to put on?
Is it like a
Very
sticker?
Easy. It's inspired by vehicle wraps.
Yeah.
So I invented the product.
So what's the durability aspect of it?
Long.
I can
About a
test
month
it.
on-
You know
yeah.
what? I will test it this week as I take off my whole body of my car and get it
Oh,
ready
yeah,
for
sure.
racing in 2 weeks. I can absolutely test it.
Nice thing about it is it hides the dirt from the.
Yeah. Well, my wife
yes.
has Rottweilers and Dachshunds, like more than I'm allowed to say
Where
on
is
air.
this going, Joey?
And she's constantly washing her hands and washing her hands and
Having
washing her
fun.
hands. So I
Riding
got her
along.
got her to start getting her nails done. Well, that's kind of a waste of money. So this might be. Are there more than?
yeah.
Do you have
Perfect.
more than checkered flags?
We have hundreds of designs. They don't chip.
Well,
So.
she saw my shoes. I have my checkered
Where-
on.
You're the first person I've seen wear a pair of clean ones.
Clean Vans. Well, when you have about 20 pair, some
You
of them
don't.
are
Look at
clean.
mine.
You don't
I-
have
Hands are
20 pair.
dirty.
I have Vans in your condition as well.
Wow.
I wear
These
them
are
every day, all
absolutely
day.
cool.
Aren't they cool? Okay, so take.
Okay.
Some are going home with.
No, no,
Dave.
no, no.
For
I'll
Michelle,
just go to the
Michelle's
website.
gonna want some.
No, you'll need. That's a year's supply. Okay, let's go back to
Let's
this
go
guy.
back to Fallbrook. He's in a van. He's in it. He
A weird
checked
van.
out what races he may potentially like in Chile. You said so. You're heading south.
Yeah, I'm heading south. I'm in the Fallbrook driveway with a plan to do some racing, just to kind of figure out what the other world looks like. And yeah, my plan was to drive from Fallbrook all the way to the very end of South America called Patagonia.
By yourself.
By myself, yeah. And just see what happens. So that was kind of weird to leave from your home driveway, right? That you're so familiar with.
Yes.
Knowing that you're not going back for a very long time and you're driving to the other side of the world.
And your mom knew this. You didn't do it and then call and tell her.
No, she's a traveler herself, so she
right.
was probably
Oh, it's your
influential.
fault.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll blame
to
her on
build
that. Yeah, exactly. She helped me build the van. we-
Oh.
Got a bed in there and fridge and all sorts of stuff.
So you go south.
Yep.
Did you race? Did you do some races?
Yes, I did. So I didn't race in Mexico, but I went to the World Rally Championship and kind of talked about the racing culture there.
What'd you drive?
I didn't drive. I was just watching. I was spectating with the crazy local fans who throw tequila at you and make you, yeah, that's the way you got to enjoy the the rally down there.
And they
At least that's what they told
and
me.
they get a little close.
Yeah, they get real close. They want to taste the car.
Trying to be nice. Yeah, they want to taste the car. Well, they like to get they let bulls chase them too. I mean,
Yeah.
weird country.
Yeah, and so
How's the food? You're skinny.
the food I think the Mexican cuisine's one of my favorite cuisines.
Better than up here.
It's just different.
Authentic.
Yeah,
we have
the-
a what I call a South American Mexican restaurant in Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different.
Yeah, like burritos is very much a California invention.
Yeah.
They don't really have burritos
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there. They
You
do
ask
more
for one.
tacos. Yeah, they're a little like, what, a burrito? And they give you like an enchilada looking thing. But I went to a car show in Belize. So I was just kind of exploring different car cultures.
Wow.
So that was fun. Met some really cool people. They speak English there, so that was a little bit easier than my struggling Spanish. But then I raced in Guatemala in a Toyota Yaris. It was a spec class.
Yaris.
At
Now,
the
how did
base.
you get that ride?
Wait.
Just wheeling and dealing on Facebook, you know. I was talking to people and
So you have a pretty good following, would you say?
it's healthy enough, but I just know people in the world and
Well,
in the
they know
industry.
you, and if they need a driver, or hey, do you know anybody? I'm going to be in Belize.
Right.
That needs a wheel.
Yeah,
Just
and-
let me know.
I had a mental image of a Toyota Yaris, and I needed to confirm with Google, and yep, that's what you raced.
That's what we
Okay.
raced.
Dirt or asphalt? I'm sorry if I missed
It
that.
was asphalt.
Okay.
Right at the base of a volcano. I'll never forget sitting on grid, and there are all these Toyota Yaris's. It's a spec class, so there's like 20 of them. Sitting on grid, I felt a vibration, and as a driver, you know, you're like, what is that?
What is that? Yeah, exactly. And where is it?
And my
Yeah,
car wasn't running. That's the first thing I noticed, but it was actually the volcano was erupting behind.
Stop. That's a motivation to get going.
Yeah, but it's normal. They're like it just kind of spews a little bit, but you
Yes.
feel these earthquakes.
That's normal.
Nothing to worry
That's
about.
what they said. Yeah, but that was everything I wanted
Okay.
it to be.
Did you say a Yaris?
Yeah, that's why I had to look it up. I'm like, let me make sure it's what I'm thinking it is. He did.
So that must have been a long race.
Because it was slow.
Not when you're bumping and fender to fender.
Yeah,
and,
they drive differently over there, don't
Yeah, it's tight track too. So
be
it was fun.
What was
Had
it,
to
like
be
a
a
mile
blast.
circuit or?
It was probably like 2.5 miles, but there's a lot of hairpins and corners and places to just chuck it in and pray that
Yeah, that
it'll
Chuck it,
stick.
you're gonna come
pray.
out the other end.
Chuck it and pray, Mom.
hope the brakes work.
So I think the Porsche driving school
Helped you
helps
in the
get you
Yaris.
in behind the wheels as long as your interconnection of because you got to seem you have that attitude. I'll drive anything with a steering wheel.
Yeah, and I especially love to drive things that are hilarious to drive, like a Yaris. Like
I
at the
know.
Porsche Experience Center, they always ask me, "What's your favorite car to drive?" Like,
Say Yaris.
no, they're trying to talk about the Porsches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Yaris. But no, I would say the Macan because I want to go faster than the GT3s in a Macan because that's hilarious.
It is
To hear them
hilarious.
see like this big flopping car go really fast. That's kind of my style.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I drive.
Footloose and fancy free.
So at this point, you've experienced the culture of the spectators at some of these races. You've experienced the food. You've experienced racing. Is now when you're like, I need to start sharing this with writing
Yeah, it was. I was actually doing videos and some writing
on
at the
what
time.
at Facebook.
I
or
just had a website.
a website.
And on YouTube. And yeah, so that's how I was kind of sharing it, kind of documenting it. But what
For
I didn't.
yourself, or did
No,
you?
if I was sharing it with people.
I mean, what was your motivation? Like, I want to
Sharing
preserve
your
this, or I want to
experience.
educate people, or
I just thought it
inspire?
would be entertaining.
Entertainment.
And kind of like, I don't know, a lot of people have entertained and inspired me through writing and other forms
right.
of expression. I was like, well, if I'm doing this thing, I should probably, pay it back and see if it's.
And I don't want to go to Belize, so I'm going to get on your site. And
Right.
I'm going to go to Belize.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to sit in an airplane.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to get eat by the bugs. And if you do that right, then it's gold.
Yeah, it's like you're there, especially in writing. When
And
you're
you
time to
want the
articulate.
experience. I want to enjoy it.
Yep, exactly.
But I don't want to necessarily go.
Yeah,
People-
lots of bugs down there.
Well,
you don't want to
Dude,
feel how
I
they crawl
watch
on your skin.
national. I mean, anything documentary, anything that is someplace other than where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm golden. No
Love it.
complaint.
Did this surprise you, Mom, the writing, or has he always been just a natural at this articulation and observation?
He's always been a natural, but the videos and the writing are very impressive.
Yeah.
I'm not just bragging about him because he's my son. It's good stuff.
Is it
you
safe to
feel
say-
like you're in the driver's seat with
Oh.
him?
See, that's what I'm saying. And if you could get that feel and not have to get on an airplane and spend
That
all...
must have been awesome for you, being able to experience and watch him and see him instead of like he's gone for 3 months and then comes back. Or
It was very nice to have.
yeah,
You were sort of could kind of
Yeah.
follow him without being there.
She's glaring at me because I've taken the videos down because
that's what I wanted to ask.
yeah,
how
so
I can
she's
see
she's
it.
been
Wait,
wanting.
why?
I'm going through some rebranding. I'm in the shop right now, and I'll put things back out there.
That was gonna be my next question:
Yeah,
is
yeah.
how do we follow you?
Nope, you're
how
just gonna
does
have
Dave
to-
get to
You're gonna-
Belize?
You just... No,
You're gonna have to wait
out.
and see.
Well, what?
Okay.
How...
okay.
Okay, so is everything
He's
down
gonna
right
have
now?
to come back.
You're in a rebuild?
No, so I have a website. It's called it's very rudimentary right now because we're in the shop. We're working things out, testing the car. It's called joe.com.com.
Joe.com.com.
Why are you laughing?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no.
No, it's funny.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
so-
Old people. You
No,
need
no.
that Joe.
No, you spell out the first .com because I think I'm funny. But it's J-O and then spell dot.
DOTCOM.
and then the regular .com.
a period.
Yeah, .com. Yep.
Send that to
COM.
me. Would you send that to me?
I'll
I am
enter
so
it on
confused.
your phone for
I am
you.
so confused
You get it,
right
Brittany,
now.
right?
I get
It's
it.
funny.
So he still offers people thumb drives, which
Don't
is
start
cute,
with
right,
me.
Brendan? Right, Brendan? He's
Well,
cute.
I can vouch. I can vouch.
He
I
offers-
tell people
If you
that
want
I'm
this video
going
on
to
a
give you
thumb
the show
drive-
back, the whole show.
Uh-huh.
If you have a business, let's say, put it on a thumb drive or a CD
I'm
as
with you.
giveaways.
It's tactile, yeah. I like
And everybody
it.
looks at me like, what?
Well,
Brendan goes, did you just say thumb
Yeah,
drive?
I'm like, I think we could just throw it in the air.
Well, what else do you do with it? MP3?
Brendan and I will take care of it.
There we go. So, well, and I think that the thing I like about what you're doing is you're doing what you're doing. I mean, you don't have any preconceived anything. It's kind of like, okay, let's go try this or let's go try. That's why you stopped what you were doing because it didn't probably meet to your standards.
Right.
And you need, and with new technology, and now all the people you know, and the people now are looking and seeing what you're doing. They're saying, "Yeah, I'll help you,"
Right.
because I see a reason. If you came out of it cold, and just says, "Okay, here's what I want to do. Here's how much money I'd like to have," go away.
Right.
What?
So we
You got
might
two
have
fingers.
a caller coming in, and,
Yep.
and if she
I
calls
cannot
in,
confirm or deny that.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're not getting
if,
elected.
then maybe you can help us make the connection why. And second of all, how far are we into your adventure? Like 1 month of 3? We're only like a quarter of the way.
Good God, we don't have hours.
Yeah, 3 months out of probably about, in total, it took me a little over a year and a half.
Okay, so we're not far.
That's not too bad.
We're not very
yeah.
far into the story.
I mean, that's a lot in a brown
there's
paper
a lot
bag.
of, it depends on where we go.
That's
Yeah.
a lot in a
And
brown.
we
let's
never
ask-
know.
Let me ask you this: in that period of time, how many different countries?
Man, I would take the rest of the show to count that high.
Okay,
That's what I'm
during the
saying.
commercial break, you can use some of my
No.
fingers too. We have to go to
Take-
commercial.
Right here
Maybe he can
on
count.
You Ought to Know FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to the You Ought to Know show, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer. Let's pursue that, Joey.
You got it.
Better off air than on. John's Automotive Care, located at Riverdale Street. In fact, John's picked up another store, Napa Auto Care, ASC certified, AAA approved. Can't go wrong. John's with an S, San Diego Autorepair.com. Find a shop close to you and thank him for being on KCBQ. All right. I think we have a guest possibly on the line that's been on before and
And to know her is to love her.
absolutely
My
most
goodness.
impressive young lady I've run into in all my years of advertising. And why do you know our special guest?
Are we going to tell the listeners who it
Nah,
is?
they don't need to know.
Oh my God.
He could tell them who
Okay,
it
yeah.
is.
Why don't you tell us your connection with her and why she might have called in?
Yeah, so her.
Can
It's
we
going to be
say
hard.
her name?
Yeah, Gale Webb.
Gail, welcome.
I wouldn't probably be here if it wasn't for Gale Webb, because my mom might be in a very different spot if it wasn't for Gale Webb. So I've kind of known her a lot as like a hero in my eyes. As I was growing up, I heard a lot of stories. And then I got to know her as I got older. And, but yeah, basically she, as she did with so many kids, helped my mom get into motocross and helped her with her skateboarding. And that kind of helped my mom steer away from other, pathways that she could have gone down that might not have led her to here. I think my mom has said like she credits Gale for, I guess, saving her life really.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what people do.
Yep.
And that's what people are supposed to do. The minute I met Gale on air, I mean, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Hi, Gale. How you doing?
Gail.
Hi, how you doing?
We're just gloating all over you.
Oh, I picture myself being there and seeing all you guys. I missed you.
You need to come back. You need to come
Anytime,
back.
Gail. Mr. Lewis will bring you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that.
So how long have you known this kid?
Oh my God! Well, probably since he's been born, but I didn't see a whole lot of him. But and he is to me he is a kid, and I'm just so proud of him. The first time I ever saw him actually racing on TV, I was like, oh my God! I had no idea. I mean, I was out of my seat, and he's just he's phenomenal. He's smart, and it's just awesome. His mom, we become best friends ever at a skateboard park.
Yep.
I think she was only 15 then, and I'm the mom skateboarding, and she just helped me a lot. And she not only had Joey, and she has a little girl, a little bit older than Joey, but
she's
so
with us.
Quite a few.
Gail, she's in studio with us as well if you wanted to say hi.
Hey, Gale. It's
Hey,
Janice.
How are you?
Excellent.
So I'm hearing motocross
How are
and
you?
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying hello to John.
Oh, Janice, not Jonna. Jonna's not here.
Oh, you're Janice. I thought your daughter's with
No, Janice is with us, and I'm hearing motocross and skateboarding. Is this true? And did you help her
yes.
with both?
Yes, I did skateboarding
yeah.
shows with Gale.
Oh, you did part of the shows?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
You skateboarded?
Yes.
You
still do.
motocross?
Yes, in my shows.
Yes.
Whoops.
And
Whoops.
Yeah, she's huge too.
And she's just
like,
sitting
I don't
over here
wanna
saying
talk.
she hasn't done nothing.
Yeah, we're like, maybe you'll sit close to
I'm
the
thinking
microphone.
chocolate chip cookies, you know. No.
I've got Gale's ramp at my house if you want to come
Oops.
skate it.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
you really?
When's the last time you were on it?
Just yesterday.
Rad!
All right.
Getting ready for a party, I think.
That is,
Yep.
you have no excuse. There's nothing you can say or do. It's not your fault. It's their fault.
Yep. I
You
completely
totally agree.
Yeah, totally. They made my life path easy for me. Of course,
So-
I'm going to go on adventures when that's my mom.
Right?
Well,
Gail's
yeah.
my
Right?
influence. Yeah.
And so what are you doing, would you say, on her behalf? How do we approach that?
Right. So, as we were talking earlier, I was kind of discovering my storytelling abilities. We were talking about Gale and admiring her life like we often do, and we were, kind of talking like there should really be a book about your story. There is a lot of people know what she has done and how she's influenced people, but the how she got there is truly incredible. And that's what I think the world needs to know.
So you're working on a project?
Yep. So I have a manuscript done.
Done.
Yep.
Done.
So now we are shopping it around, trying to find it a home. But yeah, it kind of reveals how her life led her to be the very influential person that
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
To so
and still-
many people.
Yes.
And
So
still-
many people.
Me included.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, see, that's the key. And still,
yep.
I want to recognize people like Gale when they're around.
Yep.
And I totally, right, Gale?
I'm
right
here.
I'm right here. I'm just over here in the corner. Because so many people wait till afterwards, which is fine, but it's not the same
So,
by any stretch.
Gail, how do you feel about Joey doing the writing for you?
Blown away.
You just said it.
Yeah.
I am blown away, and he's got he's got great skills, but he's for such a young person, he has a way of understanding things that most people I've known at that age, they really don't. you know, he's done quite a bit in his young life, and I think that's helped him. I think he's seen a lot all over the world, which made him realize, wow, you know, things really are kind of crappy here and really happy over here, and putting it together. And he is amazing. He's got an amazing mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
So does his mom, and I mean, we used to always have fun, and the whole family done, and it's a great thing. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
I was
me
at a
too.
big event yesterday, and people were already talking about it.
Oh,
I know.
It's
So-
out.
Okay, but so Gale, I got to ask you because I haven't heard who's going to play Gale Webb
Wait,
in the movie.
Is this a book or a movie? You said manuscript.
Yeah, so it's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
a
book
movie.
and then a movie. Sure.
Oh.
Who do you want
Yeah,
to play? Who do you want you to?
We'll have Janice play me.
Oh, that would
Oh,
work.
you might
You're
have to
gonna have
cut your hair.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dye those gray hairs.
Hey,
Mom.
yeah.
Oh.
We make great, beautiful
Hey,
Janice.
but did you notice it wasn't no?
No.
He's already talking
I
about
get to ride motorcycles.
yeah and skateboard.
No
Oh
problem.
my
No, they'll
god.
have a stunt driver for you.
Oh. Hey, when you coming back, San Diego, young lady? By the way, just change the subject.
Oh, I can't wait. We've got a lot more stories to tell you.
Well,
Awesome.
like I said,
Well, yeah.
because this young lady sitting across from me has already kidnapped 2 hours today.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
she has the ability. All you got to do is send her bacon.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't
Or a
hurt.
bio.
Yeah,
like,
or a bio.
Joey, may I read? I know you wrote it just to me. Can I read something? that you
Sure,
wrote to me?
absolutely, yeah.
So I actually sat down, Steve. I'm like, Steve, I need your undivided attention, please.
Steve.
My Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Because I go, I love this kid, not in a creepy way.
Yeah,
and I
no,
called
no.
you a kid because I'm old enough to be. I'm 50,
Sure,
so I
yeah.
could be. But so I don't mean any disrespect. But he wrote to me, Gale is somebody who understands the power of a healthy escape. I was like, oh my god, I love this kid.
Wow.
I always call racing my drug of choice.
Sure.
I've said it several times on this. And then when I read that, I was like, oh,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
You get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're poetic. I'm like, he's so much more poetic than I am. That's why he's writing your manuscript and I'm not.
Yeah. Exactly.
I loved that line.
Okay,
Thanks.
but did anybody tell me who's going to play her on TV? I think we got a Oh,
figured it
Janice.
out.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
I'm auditioning.
She's
Now,
already
that would be.
she's already figured out how
yeah.
she's gonna change her hair a little bit. And she already signed up for the motorcycle, the motocross,
Is that an
and
old
the
Speed
skateboarding.
Channel jacket?
It is.
You notice? I noticed that.
Speed girl.
Speed Girl. I like that.
A lot of
Yeah.
the story, though, spoiler,
Uh-oh.
Gale is quite young, so that might be. Maybe
What is
she can
he
play
saying,
a part
Janice?
of Gale.
Janice,
like,
what is he saying?
I'm
didn't
saying
hear
like
that.
like 21, 22.
Okay,
There's some
so
parts where
Gale-
she's
Okay,
child.
you can't be the producer.
Let us know if you have an
Right.
answer for
we
that,
can't
Gail.
let him be the producer. We got to get something.
Okay, so so a book to publish. You're looking for that.
Yes.
How do you even do that?
Yeah, I mean it's a
Just got to find a.
Just.
Well, they're out there.
it's a long process because it takes a while for someone to read a manuscript. And yeah,
And no offense, you're not that well known in
No.
the world
Right.
of literature.
yes,
You know
correct.
what though? To anyone who could possibly help out, Gail is known.
Yes,
Right.
and
So,
we're good- yep.
so somebody out there is like, I might know somebody who can help.
Right.
Maybe I'll contact them because you may not know. And all they need to do is ask you for a little something, and they're
Right.
going to read it, and they're going to be like, I love this.
Well, I'm
kid.
sure you know
Not
how
in
to
the
write
creep-
a couple of pages.
Just his bio. I'm like,
then
oh my
I know.
gosh.
I know. You're going to frame that?
I have a big story. I mean, I have tons and tons of stories that poor.
Yeah.
And Joey is just like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put all this? But I think he's orchestrated it, and some, I asked him if he could do a few things like I'd like to see in it, and he listens to everything you say, and that's what's cool. I think is someone that will have an open mind and just make the book the best it can because it's going to touch a lot of people.
Well, and
A
I
lot of
think
people
you
at
probably
all ages.
appreciated Gail's attitude and kind of gave you direction.
Right.
Which versus here's 4,000 pounds of paper. I want a manuscript in a week. Okay,
Yeah.
let me know how that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happened.
because you want to make sure Gale that the story. Not that he wouldn't do it, but you want to make sure it's as factually correct as it possibly could be, and that could only come from you.
Yes. So I sat. The reason why I'm kind of writing it, and I don't know if you guys know this about Gale, but she, had a big accident, the skydiving accident,
yes.
right? That might make articulation a little bit more difficult. So I interviewed her a bunch, and she told me her life story, a lot of things that she's very brave in telling me that's later going to be told into the world. And I'm just helping her articulate what her life mission has been all along, which is to get people into a healthy escape and to utilize that as a tool to kind of navigate through this crazy world we're in.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. And, Gale, we love you to death. We definitely got to get you back. Don't be a stranger. Okay. We're here every Sunday.
I'm sure Michael Lewis is listening. You know what to do, Michael.
Yeah, you know what to do. And, all right. So you got anything coming up you want to throw out there to the general public before we let you go?
No, I just wish Joey the best and his mom, just the whole family, and I'm just happy. I'm just really excited he's on your show, and he's got this whole future ahead of him, and I'm just proud of him. I love you, Janice, and I'll bug you tomorrow.
There you go. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. This is the You Ought to Know Show, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Welcome back. You're listening to the You Ought to Know Show, where the show is always better off air than on. I've got my lovely co-host, the Britney Sandoval racing school teacher, who hasn't stopped smiling since she walked in the room. It might have something to do with our guests, which we'll get to in a moment, but this segment is brought to you by Convoy Auto Service. Boy, I tell you, now the Napa Auto Care ASC certified AAA approved shop. Tell you, guarantees good clear across the continental United States for 3 years, 36,000 miles. And if you've got some body work you need to get done by professionals, Collision Dock right there in Kearney Mesa, right in the same location as Convoy Auto. Just go to Kearney Mesa CollisionDock.com. All right, another hour in the box.
We have one more segment, thank goodness.
Go ahead and reintroduce who we have.
We have mother and son, Janice and Joey Jordan, both very talented with wheels, 2 and 4 wheels.
Cool. And both of them, not just one of them.
Mom's being humble and quiet and letting her son shine.
She's doing good. She said she wasn't going to talk. We got a couple words out of her.
We did.
Passion just takes over in radio.
Yeah.
She's in the book, so she'll have her limelight too. She can play herself.
Oh.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. It's like you don't want to get me started, because once you get me started, I don't shut up.
Well,
it's like, this is all about Joey
I hope we can
Gale and
the acorn didn't fall too far from the tree after all.
We're going to have him back. It was hard to get you in the first place. We'll talk about maybe next show because you were off racing.
He's a busy
But at this
guy.
show, we're only from Fallbrook to, Belize. We're only 3 months into over a year trip. We're talking about riding.
So at the end of the Belize thing, what did you just say? Did you just wake up one morning and say, Costa Rica sounds good?
Yeah, it was Belize, then Guatemala, and
was
then
close.
El Salvador, then
I was
Honduras,
close.
and then Costa Rica.
What were you looking for? Don't they have
the
Google?
next race?
Don't they have Google?
I had a compass just heading south.
No map, just driving.
Yeah,
I didn't have a map.
No.
I mean, you have stuff on your phone that you can look at.
But you're just driving.
I'm just driving, seeing where I end up. And kind of where my trip went was decided for me, because I was trying to plan these races, but Latin America will make its own plans, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of hard to
I think he just said that nicely.
To
as
meet
nice as he
deadlines.
could.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, it's hard to meet deadlines and be on a schedule when
they're not
unforeseeable
when
things
they're
happen.
not on
Can
schedule.
you give us one of those unforeseeable
Yeah,
things?
so this is a fun car thing, but Costa Rica doesn't allow in right-hand drive vehicles. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And you
my
had a
van
right-hand
is
drive.
right-hand drive vehicle from Japan. I should have done research, and that's kind of a lot of my story on this trip. As maybe if I did a little more research, I would have been out of trouble. But I had to get pretty creative in how to get into Costa Rica, because I didn't want to end my trip there. They were pretty stern about it. So I went into Nicaragua, where I was, and took another steering rack off of another Toyota and welded it through my glove box and fabricated like a belt and a pulley system to the real steering rack.
not.
Yes, to try to trick the Costa Rican officials.
Did it work?
Well, I picked up my friend at like midnight. We're going to cross in the middle of the night. I didn't switch the pedals. So I had the pedals, he was steering, which is hilarious.
So that's kind of like the double decker
I
in
know.
Paris.
I was thinking the same thing.
So at night you're at the border.
Yeah, I'm at the border and we're going for it. We get through Nicaragua's like checkout system, essentially, and then we go to Costa Rica. We're at the last. I mean, there's a bunch. This is over hours. We're at the last person in Costa Rica, the last official, and he's looking for the VIN, and he notices that there's no pedals under the wheel. And I can't go in. So I missed the race I was supposed to do in Costa Rica because I was stuck in between Nicaragua and Costa Rica because Nicaragua wouldn't even let me back into their country once they learned about this whole situation.
You're a trickery, witchery.
Yeah. So I was in Nicarica, was a little country that I invented
Yeah,
in between the 200
I haven't
yards.
heard that one.
Yeah, the 200 yards
So-
in between
you were
the.
stuck.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
Yeah, you write the UN. What are you doing?
Right,
Embassy.
No, they don't like
What?
trickery.
Yeah.
They frown on trickery.
Well, if he filled their pockets, but another story.
Yeah, my friend went on his way and.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I told him. Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm done with you. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Just see how casual he
Canadian, you know. He's
was.
just,
Okay. Just see how casual that
he
was.
was ready to leave me
So
behind.
my
He's
friend just
embarrassed
walked
by me.
off. He left.
No,
me.
I sent him. I didn't want him to deal with this. But basically,
That's a friend.
So
they took my van and put me in like this fenced off area. I don't really know what to call it. I don't know what it is.
Quarantine?
I would call it a tourist prison where
You
if
and the van.
Me and the van. The van's name was Flacco, by the way, to make it a little more
you and
personal.
Flacco.
There you go,
So
personal.
me and Flacco are stuck in there. I can't go into the country. I can't leave. I can only go to the border and in this fenced off gated area.
Gated area.
And I had some days to try to figure out what to do.
How many? Tell me.
I mean,
tell
I
me.
was probably stuck there for like a week, maybe a little.
Just
bit.
sitting
Did
there.
they feed you?
They had food, but the border food, that's what I could go
Okay,
get.
you had food.
Yeah, I had food,
Okay.
water. I was healthy. It was nothing that
Did
dire.
Mom know at this time that this was happening
I don't,
to you?
I don't even know. Did I tell you? Yeah. Yes.
At
Because
that
we were.
time? Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out different.
Solutions.
Yeah, we knew some people in Costa Rica. Basically, I needed a tow truck that could tow me.
Because you couldn't drive it.
I couldn't be in Costa Rica with that van at all.
But they could tow it out
into Panama.
into another
Into
country,
Panama.
Into
drop it on the
Panama.
ground, and you can
Enters
walk
Panama.
over, get in, and drive away.
Correct.
But you take the other steering wheel out, I'm sure.
With
Yeah.
the pedals, were you pretending you were asleep? See, could you have gotten away if you pretended like you were asleep?
There's-
while you were
yeah,
doing the pedals?
right.
I bet they did every trick in the
We
book.
tried. We tried.
Because he
Hindsight,
is
you know.
creative.
Ooh, wait, what's hindsight? What would you have done
I
different?
mean, that was something that I thought about, but maybe
I love this
maybe
story.
just doing the maybe making a different pedal box over there, right? Just to pretend.
Well, you wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
they would be looking down for pedals.
I did because sometimes
Did
they
you?
do check the VIN, but just to add to the spice of this, Nicaragua was kind of under big protest right at that time. It
so-
kind of erupted, so there was a pressure to get out of Nicaragua.
in more
So-
ways than one.
Yeah, so I was kind of racing to get out of Nicaragua and into Costa Rica. So that's why I
So you
did this
missed the ra-
fabrication over a day.
Yeah. So you missed the. You do a lot of fabricating. You know? Must be a race car driver.
Yep.
So you missed the race in Costa Rica. What's next? You guess okay. I'm going to try the next one.
Yeah. I don't really know because I guess in that point, I was kind of figuring out what I needed to
Or
do.
when you miss a race that you were assigned might not be good for your walking career, so to speak.
Right. When I missed, yeah, that's good. When I missed the race, it kind of, I guess, burnt some bridges
Yeah.
further down the way.
Well, I didn't mean to say it, but people need to know it.
Yeah. No,
You know,
that's
because
it's fine.
if you need to be at a special point
Right.
A, B,
Yeah.
And we had
and they're depending on you,
we had sponsors and partners
I
who were
know.
trying to. So it's
Now we
just
gotta
It's a
find another-
story.
yeah.
That's
So then
it.
I
You
just
tried.
Yeah, I tried.
You are going to do a story on yourself, right?
No, please.
At some point, I'm still
got-
trying to
I'll
you
dress
marinate
like a
on
boy
it.
to play
Are you
Oh my
writing this
gosh.
stuff down? Because
So yeah, I do have a lot of short stories about my travels that you'll find on joe.com.com.
Oh, that's right.
Joe.com.
Joe and
.com.
spell out .com
Yeah.
and then do the period and the COM.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
got
of
it.
yeah. Thank you. So that's where you can find that stuff.
Oh, I will be
eventually,
repeating that story.
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, it's
Love
pretty
that story.
exciting.
Well, again, it's just like what I said in the beginning.
Write it down.
If
He
I
does.
if I don't want to go to Belize, I can go to his website.
If I don't want to be stuck in a fenced area for a week,
Exactly.
Yep.
Which
I'll
is
read
fine
his.
if he does it. I'm okay with it. It's he's got a buddy. It's a vehicle, and it's what Toyota.
Oh,
Yeah.
Flacco.
Flacco. How can you beat a? Come on, you can't beat a Toyota. So
Wait, I got a question for Mom. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Were you scared at all
No.
during
Yes.
this?
Don't even try. Sorry, go
I
ahead
was
and answer,
scared
Mom. Yeah.
sometimes.
well, because of the countries he was in.
And the situations he got in. Like, this is just the tip of
She
the
said
iceberg.
plural situations.
Lots of situations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were always trying to help.
You were there
I'm a
in
pit-
real time helping
I'm a
him.
good pit crew. Like,
Right.
so I felt like I was part of the pit crew, and he has a problem, and it's like, okay, I might not be there, but
But
I'm
I
gonna
can
try to
fix
help
it.
him solve
Yeah, that's a mom. That sounds like my mom.
Well,
She'd do the
I,
same.
I like the pit crew mentality because it's not so much.
scary.
Oh, my poor son.
exactly.
It's let's get this freaking
Yeah, that's
thing
a good
done. Let's get it
analogy,
done
Mom.
right.
on
Get
the
him,
road.
get him
Yep,
back on the road.
track.
Smack him in the head. Say, don't do that next
yeah,
time.
did you ask him to stay out of trouble?
Oh, please.
No.
I think that would make things worse. If
That
she
would
did.
make
She-
it
Yeah,
Oh,
she
more
knew that.
motivation.
Mom, he would do the opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay,
So
that
wait,
makes
how
sense.
many other kids do you have?
A
I
daughter.
have a daughter.
Because we're
She's a
bragging on
racer, too.
this guy. And the poor daughter is
Yeah,
all.
does she do adventures and crazy stuff?
Very crazy. And
Oh, no, we got
wow.
another
Is she in
hour
town?
coming.
Where does she live?
She's in
Where you-
Encinitas.
She's raced
Oh,
too.
she's in town. Oh my God.
All right, next time we'll bring her in because that's not fair because he'll take over the whole
Yeah,
show.
she's got her driving license, or racing license.
Racing.
Oh, okay.
Autocross is a Miata.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. No.
We want you to.
The PR manager at Mazda at the time had a first gen race car, but they brought all the generations out to Willow,
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
and they let us take them out and drive them at speed. So I'm getting ready to get into his, and he goes, just get her up on her tippy toes.
Yep.
I go, excuse me? Just get her up on her. You'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know. Oh, my God. It was it was better than the last gen of the MX-5, to be honest with you. What?
Funny. It just reminded me for before we. I'll tell you next show.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
Is that
next
the
show.
way you end
Well,
up?
it sounds like we're
A
ending.
world-class radio
We were
show.
asked to get on our tippy toes yesterday, but I was with Bobby Brown.
Yo,
They said go half throttle. Well, I'm like, this is half throttle? It's far more than that. But Bobby Brown was in front of me. He's
you
like
stay
the
up
king
with
of
him?
our track.
Did
The
you stay
king.
up with him?
I made a pass on him.
You
Clean.
did not.
I did. It was the highlight. I
Would
could've
you
gone
hear
home.
this on Racer Radio? FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.